one night a march. He was the one that originated the night march. Considered so weird. He was dangerous by many of the other civil rights organizations. But we were having a night march, and as I was walking, it was very frightening because anything could come at you out in the dark. Whereas in the daytime, at least you could see the danger. And we were marching, and all of a sudden I looked over, and there was a woman next to me, and the entire side of her face was blood. But I tell you what kept me feeling secure in many a march was that I was 14, 15, 16 years old. If I could look, and I haven't gotten much taller, but if I could look above the head and see James Orange or Lester or Big Lester, I knew that they could see me, and therefore I was safe and secure. Because I couldn't count on being able to see Hosea Williams, because he might be at the front of the line, he might be at the back of the line, he might be anywhere, because he was a moving object. But James Orange and Big Lester Hankerson had appointed places in the line of march, and if I could see them, they could see me, and I knew everything was okay.
Wow. Well, as I now see, Sister Omalama, we can step over Sister Omalama and
I just want to say thank you to everybody that's here. Why don't we start out with one of those good old songs?
All right, now.
Ain't gonna let nobody.
Freedom.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. Over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free and be free. Oh, freedom! Oh, freedom! Oh, freedom over me, and before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free and be free.
No more poverty.
No more poverty. No more poverty. No poverty over me, over me. And before I be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free and be free.
All right.
Oh, Lord.
Now we want to get Dr. Emerson to please come and give us the meaning of this day for us, for our family, and many people all around. Come, Dr. Emerson, if you can get here.
Larry, you are such a soldier. And there's so many of you that are out here that I can't remember a time when we were not there. And it is so gratifying to us at this time as we honor the memory of Reverend Hosea Williams. I was just saying to my friend Joan as we were walking up here, I said, some days to me, it seems like it was yesterday. It's been 14 years. Some days it seems like it was forever, that I can't remember the point at which I could hold my daddy's hand as I did on those last few days at Piedmont. One of the things that I remember most was that he could hardly move, and that almost the last night, next to the few days before he passed, and I was sitting there and I was so exhausted that my head had fallen over on the railing of the bedside. But somehow he managed to lift his hands, and he hadn't moved in days, and I felt this hand patting me on the side of my face. Some days that seems like yesterday, and some days it seems like forever ago. But indeed, it was 14 years ago that Hosea Williams made his transition, and in those 14 years,
we have seen his legacy continue because the needs, the people that he wanted to serve, the people that he cared about, there have been more of them instead of less. So the legacy that he leaves behind is being carried on at Hosea Feed the Hungry, and we are proud that we're able to do that every year for 14 years. You know, Hosea Feed the Hungry is what they call in the human services lingo a founder-driven organization. And very few founder-driven organizations continue because they're based on the founder, the charisma or the strength or the leadership of the founder. But Hosea Feed the Hungry is going strong 14 years later because of the mission, because of the work, because of the need. And there's leadership provided by the Williams family and the Omalami family. And so we're grateful for the support and the ability and the opportunity to continue to serve. So we thank you very much for coming, and I thank all of you who had a hand in putting this together, because some of you may know, we've had other challenges this week in terms of health, and we're trying to continue on. But the Omalamis, Elizabeth, Famo, and Awodele, and Tara, and are the backbone of what is a true legacy, and we thank them for all that they do every day.
Amen.
We are dedicating today to my brother Andre, who has had a stroke. He is in the hospital. He is a key component of Hosea Feed the Hungry. He's in the background. When you see me out front, Andre's in the background. He's working on grants. He's putting the numbers together. He's writing letters. He's taking care of the health insurance. He's doing the HR. He is Hosea Feed the Hungry. And so with him in the hospital, it's going to be very, very difficult for us as a family to move into this holiday season. But we're going to do everything in dedication to him because he has dreams for Hosea. He's the one that talked to us about housing. Now we're doing housing. He's got us hooked up with Seed Co. and they're doing benefit analysis on all of our people. He's got us involved with WellStar, WellCare, and doing events at the senior citizens high rises. He's got a programmatic vision for Hosea Feed the Hungry. And so we're going to honor Andre, my husband Afemo, and I, by pushing forward his program ideas and making sure that his work was not in vain. And it may be a long rehab for him, but I'll tell you something. There's no fighter like a Williams fighter. There's no fighter like a Williams fighter. We fight when folk talk about us. We fight when folk don't visit us. We fight when there's no money. We fight when they got a little money. But our father, Hosea Williams, and our mother, Juanita, taught us that life was about a battle, that life was a struggle. So they taught us to struggle from a very young age against those things that will cause us to say the they. Who is they? Well, they is anybody that will step on the backs of the poor, close shelters, cause people not to get a livable wage, cause people not to have affordable housing, cause people not to have decent food, so that there are millions of people experiencing food insecurity right here in the state of Georgia. Cause people not to be able to get technology in the schools so that they can compete for jobs. That is the they. And just follow the money and you'll find out for yourself who they is. So we are here to still battle the oppressor. And it's not about color. It's about class. Because many poor white folks and poor people that have immigrated to this country are doing just as bad. But the reason that black folks have it even worse is because we've been here. We got brought over here, even though we had visited here way before then. and we don't have the opportunity still to grow and mature as many of even our immigrant friends do that come here. So black people have got to stop being afraid to say the word black. We are black. That's who we are. We have a great culture and heritage that has been stomped underfoot and shut down. So when we come here every year, we come here so history won't die.
Amen.
So our children will know who these people are. Our leaders are passing. Our sympathies go out to the Herman Russell family for the passing of Herman Russell. Certainly he and Daddy had a great relationship. A relationship, and we all know what that was like. But these men and women of God, which is who they were, are people that we can't replace.
Yes.
So we have to teach the young ones
Amen.
how to take over, how to step in and be somebody in this world today. Certainly, just because you can't sit on the bus, or if there's no segregation, or if the folks have stopped lynching people. Well, you know, when you shoot a boy in the face when he's on his knees with his hands in the air, that's a lynching.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
It's the same thing.
Yes.
When you've got men, women, and children sleeping in something that looks like an army barracks, that's the same thing as slavery, because their minds are not being exposed to what it feels like to be free. Oh, I wish I knew what it was like to be free. We still singing the same old song in Black America. But thanks to, I believe we have young people that are coming up that are beginning to get it. They are beginning to understand what the civil rights movement was all about, and that they are in the civil rights movement themselves. So what we're here for, as Dr. Emerson so eloquently put it, is to make sure that Hosea Williams is not forgotten.
Never.
And that his legacy lives on
Every day.
every day at Jose Feed the Hungry, and not just there, but in different pockets all over the city. People are copying what he used to do.
Amen.
So you'll see around the world that Jose Williams is still alive.
Yes.
He's still alive in people like Michael Langford and John Bascom and Wes Carey. He's still alive in people like Joyce Dorsey over at FACA.
Yes.
He is still alive in Reverend Eric Terrell, who was our representative down in Ferguson.
Yes.
He's still alive in women voting rights, like for Rita Samuels take care of. He is still alive.
Amen.
So, yes, and People TV actually was his launching into a national media personality. So, there are less than 1% of the Black historic sites in the state of Georgia still open. They've been torn down. They've been mowed over. That's our history. We have to understand that we have a brother named Amos Brown who passed a few weeks ago. And he's a part of our history, but we have to pull his children in now to say, look, this is who your father was. This is what he wanted to do. Do you want to help? Do you want to help? So I would also like us to hear from someone who was a great friend of Reverend Williams's, Miss Miriam Ledesma, who knew him when he was up. She knew him when he was down. So come on up, Miss Ledesma, and give us your remarks.